It's not fun in games anymore when something like this happens. Posted to the very spooky video subreddit by AdamGray59, the Redditor is wondering if this is poltergeist activity. In the video, some gamers are playing Call of Duty, and the gamer on screen appears to have gone for a bathroom or snack break. His chair is empty, or maybe it isn't. The chair starts swiveling quietly around. Of course, this unnerves the player on the opposite side of the screen. Is a ghost occupying this chair? Redditor TommyMCY in the comments says, it's a gamer ghost, while others are more skeptical, saying things like chairs simply do that on their own. So, gamer ghost or just an off-kilter chair? I'd like to think a ghost was at the controls. This house is supposedly haunted, and the family room reportedly has the most activity out of anywhere. As you can see in this close-up shot, there is nothing out of the ordinary about this mirror at all. But once the paranormal investigation is underway, a woman's colorless face appears in the upper left quadrant. She is staring directly at the camera with two black holes for eyes. Her thin lips and nose clearly visible. As far as I can see, there is nothing in the room that could cast such a strangely vivid reflection. Two friends are walking down the street completely unaware of a scary paranormal encounter waiting to unfold at random.
Right here, look at it. Look at it. Look at it. It's following them. Look at it. Look at it.
A strange black mist slowly descends out of nowhere. I do find the timing to be an eerie coincidence and agree this could be paranormal. With that said, the friend on the right seems to sense an apparition more than he sees it. He doesn't necessarily look terrified, but he does bring his hand up to his chin as if he is uncertain of something nearby. The other friend does not appear to see anything at all. If this was a ghost, then maybe the camera was recording something that neither one of them could fully perceive. Then again, this looks like it could be an out-of-focus insect walking along the camera lens. Let me know which possibility you think is the real answer. The Goat Man is a thing of urban legend. Something like a centaur, the goat-human hybrid is said to take refuge in the woods. Some say it's responsible for many missing dogs. Published by Hype Mike in March of 2021, this paranormal crew is in search of the mythical creature in Goatman Forest. Half of them rush back to the cabin after hearing something out in the forest behind them, as the other half continue on.
A ginormous crash or something behind us, and we ran back to the cabin.
Wait, what?
Something cracked right behind us, a huge tree or something, and we ran back to the cabin.
They find red liquid in the snow, and I think we can all imagine what it might be. Did some animals have a scuffle, or was it something else? After being scared off by the roaring, the crew comes upon some even more scary evidence that something's gone wrong.
Get back. Just go.
This doesn't look like an animal's doing. Was it some ritualistic sacrifice?
I mean, I guess. Like, there's like blood on the tree and shit. Ew, what the heck?
Deeper in the forest, they hear this spine-tingling howl.
Hello? Repeat that? Did you hear that?
And once they gather together again, they realize an axe has gone missing. Did the Goat Man take it? The crew decides to invite the Goat Man to the party with this chant, and they really shouldn't have.
Okay, ready?
Ready?
Goat man, we offer our blood to you. Please accept and show yourself to me.
Is that it?
Later, while they're chilling at the cabin, one of the crew hears something.
Nickname? I hear something really freaking creepy, and I just need to know if you guys can hear that.
No, well, I didn't hear anything.
What do you mean, hear something?
Well, we're inside. Yeah.
We do not hear anything, over.
Then they see something outside. What is it? Although I'd wager it being the Goat Man, we currently don't know for sure.
What's up? What's what?
What?
Did you see that?
No. See what?
Oh, wait. What the is that? Just turn a light off. What's that?
It's midnight when this ladder starts walking by itself in an apartment building garage. It looks like it has to be the work of a ghost, but it's actually on a very gradual ramp moving down. This middle section of the ladder, called a spreader, looks like it's too worn out to lock in place anymore, and so the ladder almost tips over and then catches itself, taking another step forward in the process. But still, somebody has to bump the ladder first to get it moving. So if this just spontaneously happened out of nowhere, then that's a cause for concern. Going to medical school presents many challenges: high tuition, debt, and the occasional wild animal encounter. If you were coming up the steps and saw a black panther animal barreling at you, you would almost certainly run. Big mistake. It's already in motion and your panic would trigger its instincts. You're not getting far. The panther starts to go into someone's room, but something makes it think twice about going in. It probably doesn't like being cornered with one exit and chooses not to go further inside. The college in Karnataka, India went into lockdown as a result of this scary CCTV video. Yeah, I guess that would do it. I should point out that this isn't all that uncommon in schools across India, and I found some other creepy videos too. Here's a leopard at a college in Nainital. Thankfully, the only prey he finds is a car passing by, but imagine a college student looking at their feet walking along this fence. They'd never see it coming. I just hope everybody's alright. If there was a soundtrack to your nightmares, it would probably sound like this. Posted to TikTok by Hannah Hallett. She writes simply, help? You'd be seeking help too if this Yankee Doodle was blaring outside your window in the darkness of night. Hannah captures what looks like an ice cream truck making a U-turn on her road in the darkness. Well, that's a little odd considering the time of day, but not overly scary. The fact that the truck's haunting children's music is blaring from its speakers, even as darkness envelopes the night, is absolutely terrifying. Who is this ice cream man trying to attract? Imagine this nightmare fuel filtering into your subconscious as you fall off to sleep. Pretty sure nightmares would be a guarantee. 3 friends on a YouTube channel called W2S decide to invent a game that they will all soon regret. All you have to do to win is kick a soccer goal from a rooftop pass. After nearly breaking a window and denting a car, they decide to try the game one last time. When they go to throw the ball to the guy on the rooftop, however, things don't go so well. Their friend misses the ball and tumbles all the way down from the roof to the ground. The only thing that breaks his fall is the roof of a car, which he heavily before slamming into the gravel below. He is somehow miraculously fine. This could have easily resulted in something much worse. Animals have a sixth sense, and this one is acting completely out of character. Posted to the Chills Narrators subreddit, Cameron N6751 writes, "This is the first time my cat ever did this in 7 years of having her. Her cat is indeed acting strange, darting across her bed before doing an about face to lurch the other way. The cat seems to be wary of something in the room, but it's not clear what, as the unfinished room looks completely empty apart from regular furniture. The cat even appears to be going after something that isn't there, although those in the comments think it clearly just wants to play. The Redditor insists that this isn't typical behavior of their pet. I just don't know for sure." A YouTuber named Elton Minea Severo is recording a webcam video when a phone call interrupts him. It looks like he might sense that something is nearby when he is talking, but he is too distracted by the conversation to give it much more than a moment's thought. As soon as he hangs up the phone, a white moon-shaped face peeks in from around the corner. It surveys the room for a bit before ducking down and leaping out of sight when Elton turns around, at which point you can momentarily see some kind of weird body with short arms and legs. There is a chance that all of this could be edited, but before you immediately think this is fake, keep in mind that it was recorded in 2006, so pretty much all webcam videos looked grainy like this. If anything, this was a pretty high quality video for its time, especially considering YouTube was less than 2 years old when it was uploaded, so who knows what it could have been. If you find Sally selling seashells by the seashore, don't buy them. This creepy shell was found full of strange creatures.
We found this weird looking thing stuck on a shelf on the beach, and look what it does. It like moves.
Not really doing anything now. So this one's real active here.
The camera shy.
At first glance, they look like several closed eyelids, but they are bubbling. As the girls continue to inspect it, you see several of the creatures move.
But it's cool. But it's like what is this?
I don't know, I'm frozen.
Oh, I touched it and it moved.
Many in the comments say these are barnacles. I've never seen a barnacle before, but after a little research, I think that assessment is spot on. Now that I've seen them, they're a lot creepier than I'd ever imagined. History is bound to affect the aura of some places. Particularly history as chilling as Lemp Mansions. Posted to the Ghosts subreddit by Baked Potato, the Redditor writes, "This video was taken off my friend's old phone when she visited the Lemp Mansion years ago. Before we analyze the clip, you'll need to know a little background on Lemp Mansion. The historical house in St. Louis, Missouri was the home of the Lemp family in the early 20th century. 3 of the Lemps would go on to take their own lives in the family home. The only surviving Lemp was Edwin, who lived until the age of 90. He did not live in the Lemp family home, however. He moved to his own estate later on. Needless to say, with all these horrific and sad occurrings in Lemp Mansion, some believe it's haunted by spirits. It's now a restaurant and inn that offers haunted and historical tours, and also hosts Halloween parties and dinner theater. Perhaps it was at one of these events that a Redditor's friend caught this frightening footage. As the friend wanders around the mansion in the short clip, you can see odd moving shapes throughout, but the scariest appears at the end. A dark figure lurks in the bright light of the window, materializing out of thin air. It then disappears when the camera pans back around again. According to the Redditor, his friend didn't see the figure at the time. Redditor Fluffy Socks writes, "If you slow it down and look frame by frame, you'll see he's sitting there looking out the window. Gives me a pretty weird feeling, TBH. Do you have that feeling too? I certainly do." Spooky Gotham goes exploring an abandoned factory building in India. Because it's rumored to be the source of much paranormal activity according to local gossip.
Lady voice.
Let's take a look at some of the ultra creepy moments they've caught on tape and see if they're really paranormal.
Guys, உண்மையிலே வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா இந்த ஃபேக்டரி வந்து அள்ளு விடுது எங்களுக்கு.
Leaving the building does not solve their fears. They appear to be arguing about whether or not there's a paranormal mist in the shape of a figure when more scary things are caught on camera.
ரிப்பல் ஆகுது பாரா.
எங்க எது தூக்கி எறிஞ்சாங்க?
இல்ல தண்ணி சுட்டுதா அதுல தண்ணி ரிப்பல் ஆகுது.
அது வந்து ஏதோ ஒன்னு விழுந்துச்சு bro.
யாரு? இங்க இருக்குது வந்து கன்ஃபார்மா வந்து பாத்து
Watch for the yellow ghost orb at 31 minutes and 47 seconds.
நீ அங்க பாத்துந்தல அங்க இருந்து யாரும் கிராஸ் ஆவலல. ஹலோ
Freaky, right? He and his team know they have to press the paranormal investigation forward and keep exploring the abandoned factory, but their courage doesn't last for long.
சைக்கோ தரமா போட்டியே பண்ண என்ன பண்ணுவ வெளில ஓடிடுமா சட்டுமா.
They run off screaming without ever getting a chance to see what was following so close behind. But wait, at 16 minutes and 32 seconds, they appear to have caught a phantom apparition on camera, a scary man who is not part of the ghost hunting group in the slightest. They think it's a scary face looking back at them, but it could just be a piece of rotting drywall shaped like one. Either way, I'd say this abandoned factory building in India is haunted by something paranormal, and that it's probably too spooky to keep making ghost hunting videos there anymore. It's a little past 3 a.m. when Braden Lee hears objects falling over and strange noises coming from within the wall. The situation sounds like it could be paranormal until he turns the lights on and sees this small but scary creature perched in the corner of the room. Now it's time for his dad to get the creature out of his home and into the night. The bat has been flying everywhere, and he only has a few moments to act before it goes airborne again, so he has no choice but to put on some gloves and catch the creature, and it's all caught on tape to make for a scary 3 a.m. video indeed. He lets out a terrified scream and fumbles the bat before recovering and taking it outside. I'm glad that everyone is alright, and that it didn't land on his face or anything, because it definitely would have defended itself, and there's no telling where that creature has been or what it has.
That was good. Trace, am I a hero or what?
YouTuber Hassan Barbar is used to encountering mysterious and paranormal anomalies. When he enters a room of this abandoned place, something is hiding beneath the covers.
شو تقولوا انه بني ادم ولا ايه؟ تقولوا انه بني ادم اخوان ولا ايش؟ طب اسمع، طب كيف اخذت الحرام من جوا؟ طب احكي معي انت احكي.
The figure is rocking and moaning, and Hassan gets closer to investigate. As he approaches, he senses something else behind him.
بسم الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
And still he gets closer. After finding the figure has disappeared, Hassan continues to investigate the rest of the home, and something starts to bark at him.
طب اظهر قلب قرد هيو. طب انتوا كم واحد هون؟ كم؟
The thing continues to taunt him.
بسم الله. طب اظهر لي.
Then things grow even more active.
اسمع. طب شو اسمك انت يا قرد؟ شو اسمك؟ ايه؟ اسمك؟
But as to what is making that noise, it never becomes clear. While a lot of this video is mysterious, this cut makes me skeptical. Clearly, there was a cut in the video there, so I assume whatever form was beneath the blanket could escape. Still, I really enjoy the disturbing atmosphere of this investigation. A YouTube duo called Alone and Afraid are ghost hunting in a haunted cemetery in Port Arthur, Texas. While scanning the perimeter, they barely manage to catch a moving shadow that has no reason to stand out, let alone step aside. Look again. At 26 minutes and 58 seconds, a shadow is standing in front of a marker and then it moves away. The camera goes out of focus in the exact same area where they last saw the shadow's movement. Now standing in the middle of the cemetery with only a flashlight on them, the two begin hearing scary noises coming from the darkness.
She was asking for help. I'm hearing stuff all around us. This place is just super eerie.
I would classify this as extremely haunted. So, as promised, we're going to come back.
They hear approaching footsteps in the still night.
We're going to come back.
But when they explore the area with their flashlight, a blurred camera is all they can see, like an invisible presence is standing near. An Urbex YouTuber called RNK All Day is exploring a creepy building that used to be a funeral home before it was abandoned. The funeral home is not haunted per se, at least not from what I can tell, but what they find is every bit as scary as any ghost video you'll ever watch. You see, a long time ago, this North Carolina establishment was shut down because of improper business operations. People were not notified about their loved ones in a timely fashion, and the remains were often not stored properly at all. As RNK All Day explores the abandoned building, he finds evidence of their misdeeds laying out in the open. Sitting in a battered cupboard box on an old altar is a discarded plastic bag full of what appears to be ashes. There's no way to tell if these are the ashes of someone until you look at the box. That definitely says cremation services. If this is what we think it is, which I think it almost definitely is, then they should be properly placed in an urn, not out in the open like this. And if there are more items like this lying around, then maybe this building is haunted after all. Dan Sedrin is a paranormal investigator who calls this next video one of the scariest places he's ever explored. Just thinking back on the place makes his eyes go wide with fear.
We decided to hit Blue Ghost Tunnel. It's one of the most haunted places in all of Southern Ontario, and it definitely lived up to the hype.
He and his two friends Nicole and Jenna appear calm and relaxed when he first starts exploring the Blue Ghost Tunnel in Ontario, Canada.
It was tough to get here. Had to go through the woods, but we're gonna keep exploring.
But halfway through exploring the tunnel, he claims to see some kind of paranormal activity.
No, look at the blue mist.
Nicole and Jenna are reluctant to go any further as some kind of mist wraps around Dan and moves ahead of him.
It's getting really foggy in here. Yeah. I just want to touch the beam.
And now we're done.
Okay, hold up.
He bravely takes a few steps forward and, knowing his friends are already scared, challenges them to turn off their flashlights for 10 seconds.
Turn off your lights. Just turn off your lights. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Okay.
Scary voices seem to be whispering a message at them from the darkness, and they get out of the tunnel fast. It's scary enough to make one of them nearly lose their mind.
What did you guys hear? Cause
it was like a person, like an old person, like a growl, like not a growl, but like look at my hand.
Oh, you're shaking.
Yeah.
You're really shaking.
Let's go.
Okay, all right, let's go.
That kind of fear is impossible to fake, so while this may or may not be a real ghost, we can at least agree that they were genuinely afraid. After multiple nights of getting no sleep and experiencing a deep sense of dread, this person sets up multiple cameras to record exactly what happens to them at night. When they check out the cameras the next day, they find this strange encounter. A faint shadow appears to linger above them for a moment before fading away. It has an unnatural shape and almost seems to reach out at them. This video could be fake because this person was sleeping with their lights on, which is strange. But then again, maybe they were just trying to make sure there was plenty of light to catch the ghost on video. Some people have even suggested that this person was having an out-of-body experience during REM sleep. Is there something in the attic? Redditor Air Icer suspects so. After hearing tapping on the attic wall, they meet it with Sage. And this is what they captured. What was that sound? I tend to agree with Titus that this sounds like a metallic spring bang, but that doesn't necessarily negate a paranormal presence. Perhaps the spirit's just jumping up and down on the bed. Levitation, animal skulls, fire. This one has everything. These paranormal investigators have met their match. While looking around a ritualistic site, they come across this pentagram drawn on the wall. Nearby, rocks and candles are arranged alongside what looks like a black chopped off ponytail. There's a burnt animal skull posted up at the center of the pentagram. Later, the light from their camera shuts off. When it turns back on, a body has risen in the air and hangs there limply. It's one of their crew members, and a moment later, he is found collapsed on the floor and unconscious. They check his pulse and manage to shake him awake. He stumbles up, clearly rattled. Not long after, a fire starts on the ground in the room. They don't know how it started. Is there some evil entity haunting these hallowed grounds, brought to life by the rituals done here? Only Satan can answer that. A YouTuber named RFam is doing a gym vlog when their punching bag begins moving on its own. Slowly at first, but gaining momentum over time. So even if she pushed it herself, it should slow down over time and eventually settle down. But that's not what happens at all. She dances for almost 10 minutes and the punching bag sways back and forth the entire time. What I can't understand is how she dances so close and doesn't notice the whole time. I guess she must have really been into her routine. There's no strings attached to the piece of equipment, and aside from this explanation, I can't think of any other way she could have faked it. This medicine ball also starts moving in the exact same way with no one touching it, at least no one that I can see, and no shadows on the wall to indicate someone off camera. Again, I can't believe she walks right by, but I suppose she simply feels comfortable at home and isn't exactly looking for anything out of the ordinary. You might think you've got nerves of steel. This video was posted to the Very Spooky Video subreddit by Peconic. In the video, the likely US-based officer pulls over a driver at night, approaches the driver's side door with a flashlight to question him, but then never gets the chance. The dashcam footage shows what happens inside. A bright light bursts from the sky, causing the patrolman to stagger a little bit before he vanishes, leaving his steaming clothes behind in a pile beside the vehicle. The car then speeds off, either out of fear for what just happened or to flee the scene. Having been an active participant in the officer's vaporization, we're left to wonder which it is. The clip first appeared on the YouTube channel from Tim Beckers, who said, "I downloaded the video and shared it with a couple of my friends in the community, and they all told me the same. This footage looks real and it could change everything we know. What do you think? Could this be real or a clever fake?" This elevator video from 2012 was taken late at night at an undisclosed location. The space is completely empty until a woman with long dark hair and a dirty nightgown appears out of nowhere with her head down. She stands in place for less than 10 seconds before the security camera suddenly glitches out and shuts off. 2 months later, the video was leaked to the public and posted online. This leaked video might be fake because it almost looks like a stereotypical Hollywood version of a ghost. Then again, as CCTV cameras continue to improve in quality, it would only make sense for the spirits to show more detail as well. A YouTuber named Ruin Road wants to explore the old remains of the Hutchins Intermediate School in Detroit, Michigan. So he climbs through one of the blown out windows and rummages all around. He is getting some artistic shots of various angles and landscapes when he notices somebody is posted by a fence a few 100 feet away. Something feels off about the man, but he ignores it and keeps exploring. Some more time passes and Ruin Road eventually forgets all about the strange man, but then a noise in the next room swings him around. Ruin Road senses someone is coming for him and quickly gets out of the building fast. He later concludes that the person outside was serving as a lookout and that other people were coming into the building to jump him. I think there is a good possibility that this is true, but then again maybe they were just some fellow urban explorers, or maybe he was being paranoid and there was no one around at all. With that said, I haven't good fact heard about people getting robbed in abandoned buildings around Detroit, so I think it's good that he didn't stick around to find out. This spooky midnight sighting is quickly becoming known as the ghost boy under the stairs. It could simply be a bug walking across the camera, but what's weird is how it seems to stay confined to the area under the steps. Then at 15 seconds, it reaches the farthest corner and vanishes. Take a look again and tell me if you think this is real or special effects. Even the person who uploaded this video says they didn't believe in the supernatural until seeing this at their job. These flats are supposed to be abandoned, so who is in this window? Posted to TikTok by Scared to Death Zero, this crew is looking around an abandoned encampment at night when they see movement in one of the upper windows. Zooming in, there's no one there, but then they move their flashlight from the window, and the figure again peeks out from behind a curtain. Many in the comments are completely freaked out. Well, some think it's a squatter, others are not so sure. They say it has no face. What is this thing? Would you try to find out? A YouTuber named Ariette Jane is live streaming a road trip when suddenly an unidentified creature bursts through the traffic, nearly causing a wreck.
Here we are. San Diego Freeway coming up. Boom. We are there. Awesome. Whoa! Dude, what the hell was that? He wasn't on a motorcycle.
The speeding object leaves a short trail of fire behind, almost like it has a turbocharger of some sort, yet it's going way too fast to be an ordinary vehicle. My guess is this is computer-generated special effects, but if that is the case, then I don't know how he got the cars to slow down all at once to make this shot look so realistic. Maybe there was traffic ahead or something and he edited this creature in later. Either way, Ariette Jane swears that this video is 100% real, and I'd like to know if you agree with him or not. This ghost doesn't want to be hunted. Published by Turkish channel HD Adam in November of 2021, the team is here to investigate the case of Jean Hoka. As they case the joint, they find dozens of nails strewn on the floor. Is there a meaning behind this? They're looking down another hallway and something hits at a curtain in the window. When the cameraman runs over to look out of it, you can see this window is on an upper floor and there's no one around. In another room, they find a glass, again with nails inside. The team wants to know what this means and asks viewers to share. Do you have any ideas? It might be the next step in solving this mystery. Bryn is ready to take a hike through the infamous Aokigahara forest in Mount Fuji, Japan. It isn't long before he finds a dark and foreboding entrance. He's not very far inside when he comes across an abandoned bike. Laying on the seat is the open packaging for a kitchen knife. Sadly, it is clear that this person came here with one clear purpose. A short while later, he comes across a bag that is empty except for a note. He tries to read the Japanese writing and comes up short.
It says 12:11. I can't quite make out. I think this is somebody's name just here, and I'm not sure what this means.
If you can read the message, then please share what it says with me so that we'll know once and for all. As soon as he's finished reading, a crow caws directly overhead.
Later.
It's an ominous sign for sure, so Bryn decides to get out of there before anything bad happens. Security cameras in this home didn't spy any intruders while this family was on vacation, at least not of the mortal kind. Published by Grasshopper 222 in July of 2011, the living room camera captured what looks like a cat toy moving across the floor. The only problem? There's no cat in sight. Moments later, a strange noise resounds in the room, and several objects fall to the floor. The bathroom's camera captured further paranormal activity. 2 toothbrushes fling from the counter, not falling but as if propelled by an unseen force. The faucet turns on full blast sometime later, while something flings into the sink. This is followed by the toilet flushing, and what sounds like the lid slamming shut. In the garage, although it's dark, you can hear noises. The YouTuber says it's a drill, and the doors on his father's car door. You can see the car's interior lights turn on when the doors open. In the kitchen, activity occurs over several days. Watch closely. Days later, this happens. While some in the comments are perplexed by this blatant activity, others are spotting things you may not have seen, like this shadow. Do you too think this house is in need of a priest? Surveillance cameras sometimes capture images you just can't handle. Posted by Dante1 to the Sir Spook subreddit. You might want to stay inside at night after watching this clip. Dante explains that they put out trail cams because they lost their cat. While they were working out in their garage at night, they set off their motion detector and, a moment later, caught this on camera. The clip plainly shows the men working in the light of the garage. Night has fallen, and the rest of the scene is quite dark. That is, until a phantom spirit drifts into view. The vapor-like phantom has a human figure and flies in from the top right of the screen. In fact, it appears as though the figure strolls right into the frame. MuggleMad32 writes, "This is a really good capture of an apparition," while Explore with Sunny adds that it's pretty unexplainable. Is it truly unexplainable? If so, do you hold the key to the explanation? Unfortunately, this clip isn't longer, or we may have seen where this phantom is off to. Let's hope he didn't do anything to that poor cat. This recent video of an unidentified flying device was sighted in New Mexico. It looks like a disc-shaped object until one of the lights breaks away.
What the? What?
Then they all briefly flicker out before lighting back up in a new formation. Is this some kind of special military flare exercise or what? I think I'm gonna go with what, and by what, I mean extraterrestrial life. A YouTube channel called Mux9TV goes exploring some extra scary woods in Pakistan late at night when they find some really creepy stuff that leaves them really freaked out.
कौन हो तुम?
Out of the woods staggers a mysterious figure who refuses to speak for a long time. His eyes look haunting, like he's seen too much in too short a time and has been wandering for days, unable to get it out of his mind. The group does not know how else to help this person, and so they recite some words of faith over him, which works to the extent of scaring him away back to wherever he came from. This doesn't look like a ghost sighting so much as the aftermath of a person who has had a paranormal experience of their own in the forest and has succumbed to madness in the days since. Either way, they're definitely not the type of person you'd want to encounter in the woods, so I bet the group is relieved when he runs away, but at the same time, he could probably use some help. Hopefully he finds peace, but with that scary stare, I don't see how such a thing is going to be possible. This drone footage was taken somewhere deep in the Salt Fork Park in Ohio. The video starts out ordinarily enough, but then sometime around the 5-minute mark, you might be able to see something hiding in the thickets. Watch the left side of your screen closely as the drone starts to land, and pay close attention because it happens pretty fast. Many people claim they can see a large creature stop and look up as the drone passes by. Some even claim that this is a Bigfoot sighting in broad daylight. I do see what they are talking about, but I personally don't see any movement, and I think it could possibly be a tree. Let me know if you see it and if you agree. If you've ever worked night security, human activity is likely the most you've ever had to worry about. Working security in India is another story. Published by World of Wildlife and more in January of 2018. This security guard couldn't believe his eyes when he encountered a big cat roaming the Mumbai neighborhood at night. Captured at nearly 1 in the morning, the security guard is seen sitting on a plastic chair, probably trying his best to keep awake. The street is quiet. Just as the car approaches, so does an enormous leopard. The big cat looks like he's aiming toward the guard, but as he sees the car's light, the leopard rushes across the street instead and leaps up and out of sight. Wrapped in a blanket, the security guard goes to check it out, likely thinking he dozed off and was imagining things. After looking for the cat for a moment, the security guard walks off camera and returns with a big stick. The video ends before viewers see if he was forced to use it, but hopefully the leopard didn't stick around. The man was lucky the car showed up just in time. He could have been that leopard's lunch. A group of friends are recording themselves lifting weights and basically just joking around in a small gym. The situation suddenly becomes very serious when one of them leaves the room and then comes rushing back to bang on the glass for help.
You say I ain't gonna pick you up.
4.
No way. What is it? Where is it?
A tentacle-like appendage seems to wrap around their friend's waist and pulls him away. The group goes outside and searches for their friend Nathan, but he has vanished. Then another friend goes missing too.
There.
Hey, come on.
I could count as one.
The world, open the door. Open the back.
The 2 survivors run back into the building to talk about what just happened. One of them is in complete denial and thinks that they are simply being pranked. They are talking about whether this is really happening or not, when suddenly their worst fears are confirmed.
You're not laughing at this? This is crazy. This is hilarious. That's nasty. That's nasty.
Well, there is a strong possibility that this could be CGI. The uploader has not come out and said that this was a short film. Instead, they insist it's real. Most of the people in the comments section agree that this is authentic, but I definitely like to hear what you think. A Twitch streamer named Nikki is at the height of her game when her stream ends in a way that absolutely no one in her chat could have predicted.
PP back home. What are you doing?
Nikki jumps up to see what's wrong and is greeted with shouting demands. If you can understand what she is trying to say back to them, then please let me know.
Please, PP. Let's get boots.
A strange man briefly comes in and begins ransacking the house for valuables. You would think that's where their plans would end, but apparently the plan was also to force them to go to the bank and make large cash withdrawals. Thankfully, her viewers called the police quickly, and at least one of the assailants was caught on the spot. Still, for just a regular stream, this ending is extremely unexpected. I'm just happy the residents of the home were okay. Sometimes when you're looking for the passed on, you find the living. Published by H.D. Adam in February of 2022. This paranormal crew faces off with a very angry, alive dude. While exploring what they think is an abandoned building, they first see this strange image reflected in a window. It looks like an angry face, but are we just imagining that? A minute later, the face remains. One of the crew goes to check an adjacent door. After finding it locked, he turns away. A moment later, something bangs loudly on the door. Continuing on, they open the door to another room and find this mysterious man sitting in the darkness. The man seems angry. He stands up and starts yelling at them. He tells the crew to get out of his house, and they are soon pushed out with force. Next time, they'd better be sure no one's home.
Çık lan dışarı çık. Yemiş memini evinden çıkacağım zaten. Çık çık. Kadına sen yaptın. Lan çık oğlum çık. Dışarı çık. Çıkarım bırak. Çık dışarı çık lan.
A YouTuber is walking around the local swamps when he stumbles upon a tree unlike any he has ever seen before.
Pretty creepy.
A grimacing skeletal face of solid oak emerges from the trunk. Its sagging eyes, ceased brow, pointy nose with 2 nostrils, and squared chin are all clearly visible. You don't even have to squint your eyes or look at a certain angle to see it. It's there right away, and it's even sitting on a long twisted neck. There's no way to carve this, and the green speckles on its cheek perfectly match the markings found elsewhere on the wood. In other words, this isn't some kind of Hollywood sculpture plaster. It's an actual face found on a tree in the middle of nowhere. Nursing homes are rife with elderly spirits that just cannot move on. This surveillance footage may have caught one of them. Posted to YouTube by Rice RV4 in September of 2012. This clip is surveillance footage of the Niles Nursing Center, as indicated by the sign in the hallway. The clip shows the elevator door drawing open with no one exiting. Then off to the right, what appears to be a cane slides across the floor in the hallway. It also moves to one side apparently on its own, before several people are seen passing through the hallway, and someone finally picks the cane up and places it out of harm's way, leaning it against the wall. The cane then disappears altogether without anyone making an appearance. YouTube commenters suggest that the ghost may have been trying to trip people with the placement of the cane. One commenter in particular, Siege Crows, suggests that they have some inside info on the case. He writes, "Super surprised that this got out after how hard the nurses and the people are trying to keep it a secret." In response to this, YouTuber Silent Night Crew states that he was an off-duty cop working security the night that this happened, and the man who leaked it was fired. Whether or not this is true, I think it's safe to say you wouldn't want to be working security when something like this happens. This deer is eating some corn when suddenly it looks up as if something is approaching. The camera jumps ahead and barely manages to catch this strange fleeting movement. On the right side of the screen, the shadowy figure has everyone talking about the possibility of Slenderman, who apparently has been rumored to be in this forest for years. It kind of looks like it might be wearing a business suit and has an all-white head completely devoid of all features, but it's hard to tell for sure. You often capture more than you bargain for on social media streams. Posted in July of 2019, this video shows a man wandering around an apparently abandoned apartment in the darkness. He seems to be praying, as he shoots video of some window-type compartment up in the right-hand corner of one of the rooms. You can see some stranger peeking through. The man continues to pray, and then suddenly screams in fear as he turns to capture something moving more aggressively in a huge box to his right as he races to get out of there. The door slams behind him. Even outside, he is not safe. He continues to pray while filming the exterior of the home. One of the window shutters up above opens and closes several times. Seems like this home needs more than prayer, it needs an exorcism. Behind this bed, there used to be a door. Look closely to the left of the lamp here and you'll see the outline where it was painted over. There's just one problem. Apparently something on the other side doesn't understand that this is no longer a passageway. The knocking sounds polite yet urgent, definitely human. It really does sound like someone who believes that they belong in this room and expects to be let in at any moment. It seems like her problem is not going to go away on its own anytime soon. I really wouldn't want to see what's inside of that wall, but it might be the only way to end the problem for good, or maybe make it way worse. A Pakistani health and beauty channel called Beautify With Me recently caught a creepy sighting on video that has left them horrified. A hooded figure in black robes is caught on multiple CCTV cameras, haunting the outside of their house. It looks pretty scary until the figure walks by the first camera, at which point you can see they are wearing sneakers or some kind of modern looking footwear that doesn't exactly match the rest of their spooky outfit. Still, this video is a major departure from the rest of their channel, and this is a really weird video to fake a day before Christmas, so maybe it's real, not necessarily a real ghost video, but maybe a creepy stranger encounter caught on CCTV. Whatever it is, the mysterious figure hasn't shown up on her security cameras since, and hopefully never will. Don't you hate it when you're alone in your haunted house, and the ghost girl comes out to play? Published in March of 2018, YouTuber Gencor shares this video of what he claims is the Ortega ghost girl. The man taking the video greets viewers, showing them around his living room. He then gives us a tour of his home. At one point, a stand-up fan in one of the rooms falls over, apparently of its own accord. You'll find out later that this is the haunted room. He leaves, lights an incense stick, and after a while returns to the scene of the incident. A toy moves out from under the bed as the man speaks to the spirit, saying they told him she wanted to talk to him and that he's going to close the door. You hear a sing-song voice, that of a little girl.
Dios santo. Dios dijo hola.
When he shuts the door again, a loud banging is repeatedly heard. He opens it to find a basket in front of the door, not where it was last seen. Needless to say, he hightails it out of there. If you have no idea what's going on here, Aries Bautista has you covered in the comments. She writes, the girl played 3 times hard. He should not have opened. It is assumed that by touching 3 times, he opened a portal that the demons used to enter. Well then I guess he should have kept that portal closed.
Okay, we're out here fishing off lawn. Oh my God, it's gonna hit the boat. There it is, right down there, mate.
That's the reaction of 2 fishermen as an unidentified shark heads towards their boat for a closer look. It passes by them 3 times before getting way too close for comfort. This is when the 2 friends finally decide to make a retreat.
Oh my God, alright, alright, let's go. Is there anyone, oh my God,
This is, in all likelihood, just a great white shark, but other people are saying it's too big to be a great white, and that the markings are slightly different. In their opinion, this could just be a fledgling megalodon shark that was recently born. Let me know if you agree with them, or if you think this was a great white. Pripyat Amusement Park is an abandoned park in the Chernobyl region. It was abandoned before its planned grand opening after the meltdown that contaminated the area in 1986. Posted to TikTok by Edwin Calderon 608, this TikToker is wondering what this person is doing in the highly contaminated park. The deserted Ferris wheel looks particularly gloomy, standing still with no one on it. That is until the viewer zooms in on Google Earth to see a male figure standing in the service box beside the ride. The man isn't armored against the radiation that still pollutes the area. He is completely unprotected against it, leaving me to wonder if he's perhaps superhuman. Anyone want to risk a visit to ask him? No, that'd be a terrible idea. A YouTuber named Trey P is wandering around an empty graveyard somewhere in New Orleans, all by himself, when he hears this voice out of nowhere. He claims that the voice belongs to a ghost, though to be honest, it might just be his. The only way to tell if this video is real would be to have Trey P say a sentence and then compare his voice with the voice in the video. A TikToker paranormal team called Zodiac Supernatural is in the middle of the woods when this wild noise rips through an otherwise still night. Tell me if you can identify this creature, because it sounds massive and furious.
Really cold to be skinny.
I can't tell if it's being devoured, letting out a warning call, or just going crazy at their camera lights. I'm surprised that everyone doesn't immediately run away, which makes me wonder if they actually had some idea of what it was and possibly weren't telling us.
So it's really cold to be skinny.
YouTuber Trevor Heasley published this clip in August of 2016. The footage was on the set of Postcards, a 2008 Pasadena City College student film. He'd taken it during the film shoot at the Metropolitan State Mental Hospital. Although the cast and crew heard a lot of ruckus during filming, they didn't see anything unusual. That is, until Trevor got his camera home and watched the footage back. The abandoned state mental hospital appears quite eerie in the footage, darkened windows on a hot summer day. The footage involves lots of close-ups and long shots of the area, including some gags with the cast. Everyone seems to be having a good time on the shoot, but will what happened next haunt them? During the shoot of one scene, the vapor-thin figure of a ghost appears to be walking across the hallway right before two of the cast. Apparently completely unaware of what just crossed their path, come running through. Okay, so it probably won't haunt them, being as they weren't even aware of what was happening before their own very eyes. That is, unless the spirit somehow inhabited one of them. I think we need to follow up with the cast and crew of Postcards, and maybe then we can solve this scary mystery. This may surprise you, but there are certain tribes around the Amazon rainforest that have never had contact with the modern outside world. These shots from above paint a picture of these uncontacted tribes being hostile towards seeing helicopters and drones in the air. So encounters with them are quite rare, since it's best not to interfere with these tribes. So this new drone footage was jaw-dropping when they actually managed to capture this uncontacted tribe on video. If you look closely, you can see there's 16 people quietly walking through the rainforest here. I think it's best if they don't try to get any closer. They certainly don't want a repeat of what happened before. It's creepy to think there's people on this earth who have never seen the modern world, but I agree these groups should remain uncontacted and self-sufficient. A YouTuber named Van Thoughtski captures a scary moment on his GoPro as he rounds a corner and almost makes contact with a pedestrian who, for whatever reason, chooses to walk on the road instead of taking a few steps over to safety on the grass. 1 second later, another scary moment is caught on GoPro when he has a close encounter with what I suspect is her dog, who cuts off someone else and almost causes a major problem on the road. This video was taken in the Philippines, so I don't exactly know what their laws are like, but this scary event could have been prevented had she been on the side of the road with her dog on a leash. Let me know if what she was doing is legal or not if you are from there. Hear that haunting whistle coming round the bend? it might just be the ghost train. Posted to YouTube by the Hidden Underbelly 2.0 in March of 2018, the CCTV footage purports to show a ghost train at the Baotou railway station in China. The uploader writes, when the station security were watching the surveillance cameras, they noticed this ghost train pull into the station. The eerie footage shows a transparent train pull up along the platform, mounted on the train tracks. As the uploader mentioned, the train pauses for its ghostly passengers to enter and exit before slowly leaving the station, picking up speed as around 8 carriages move past. Some in the comments of this video suggest the train is just the Hogwarts Express or a failed cloaking spell from amateur wizards. Others say it's a train from a parallel universe. Some call out fake, saying this video is actually filmed in a Russian train state and has been debunked for being superimposed. Don't know about you, but I'd like to imagine this ghost train truly does exist and is transporting our recently departed to the afterlife. A YouTuber named Sand General captures the moving shadow of a mysterious creature on tape in the Phoenix desert late at night. He and his friend are cautiously driving down a dark and spooky country road when their dog starts making low whining noises that they've never heard before. Sand General stops the car and aims his phone camera. This bizarre encounter with an unknown creature is what he catches on video.
Let's get out of here.
A roaming shadow that stands out from the scenery is caught mysteriously moving from left to right. It looks like the rather large outline of some kind of desert monster waiting to ambush them, and so they turn around and get out of there fast, which is the right plan in my opinion. I would suggest that this large shadow figure is video editing, except listen to the dog. It's genuinely terrified and trying to tell them that they should be scared too.
Let's get out of here.
Driving in the Himalayas can be beautiful, unless you're opposite an angry driver. Published by Extreme Out in July of 2016, this driver was descending the dangerous Rotang Pass from Manali to Leh when he crossed paths with a heavy truck moving in the opposite direction. The driver notes that everyone should be patient in such conditions because impatience can lead to lives lost. They didn't find patience in this truck driver though. The man writes that he dipped his lights on the narrow mountain road to indicate that the truck and car ahead should stop and let him pass if they had a wider road. The truck did not signal back, but the car indicated that there was space to cross and so he should move forward. After moving to the side, the car passes easily, but the truck is taking its time, which is understandable as you can see how bumpy the terrain is. However, it became clear that the truck driver apparently wasn't going to pass at all. After sitting for a moment, the uploader starts to reverse to give the truck a wider berth, and instead the truck drives right at him. He raises his hand for the truck driver to stop and then continues to back up on the dangerous road, which he notes is not easy. Again, instead of passing, the truck is directed at him. The game continues for a time until finally the truck passes. They stopped him to argue, wondering why he acted the way he did. Was it a threat out of spite, or did he really not have room to pass? From this angle, we will never know. About 4:30 in the morning, when a Ring doorbell camera motion sensor goes off, there's some weird lights in the corner, but most Chills fans know by now that this is simply a spiderweb strand, swinging back and forth in front of the camera. Even Lexus V says so in the description of this video. But with that said, I have no idea what happens next. A strange light appears at the window that they've never seen before and have never been able to explain since. The bizarre object hangs around long enough to make his dog go crazy. Another reason I think this video is real. There's no faking that kind of reaction from a dog. That animal knows something out there is a big threat, but what is it? This creepy footage, shot in Portugal, of a strange beast that has some wondering if the chupacabra is actually real, and if this footage is finally proof of its existence. What's the chupacabra? According to Wikipedia, the chupacabra is a legendary creature in the folklore of parts of the Americas, with its first purported sighting reported in Puerto Rico. Chupacabra literally translates to goat sucker in Spanish, so when this creature was caught hunkering through the desert, it certainly turned some heads. The clip only lasts a few seconds before the odd mannish creature disappears behind a bush. Some see the video as definitive proof that the chupacabra is real, while others question the video's authenticity. Still others believe it's not the chupacabra. It's just your average everyday CGI. Whatever the case, it has been viewed thousands of times, so it certainly struck up interest. A YouTuber named GDude26 is absolutely sure that his basement is haunted. He says that something just feels wrong when he is down there, and that he and his mother have both heard footsteps coming from the basement all of the time. Both of them understandably want to know what is going on in their own home, so they set up a motion activated camera downstairs. This camera will even send a video to his mom's phone as soon as it detects something. That way they'll know right away. This is what was sent to their phone at 5:13 in the morning shortly thereafter. Look closely, and you'll see a strange streak of light move across the camera multiple times. GDude26 and his family are sure it's paranormal, and I think it could be too. Then again, I guess it could also be a bug or something like that, but my question is, would a small bug be enough to trip the camera? I mean, it doesn't land on the sensor or anything like that. If you know enough about motion sensors to tell me if a bug could set one off just by flying by, then please let me know. Maybe we could get to the bottom of this one together. Thank you so much for getting me to 40,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Can you help me reach 50,000 subscribers? Thank you.